Do you feel lost or unsure of how to approach recording your music to help it sound as good as possible? Well, in this video I want to share with you what I consider to be the ultimate recording process. This is a 4-step process that myself and many professional projects follow to get the best results possible. And the beautiful thing is, you can do it anywhere. So if you're in your bedroom or a home studio or a professional studio, this process will help you get better recordings because it's more about what you're doing and how you're approaching the recordings than it is where you are or what equipment you're using. So even if you're just in your bedroom, this process will help you. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Band Guide, where we use GarageBand to create professional sounding music. I'm your band guy, Colin, and today I want to share with you the ultimate recording process. This is a process that I kind of stumbled through to find over several years, and once I found it, I started to realize that a lot of other people were using it, and the more I worked in professional studios and with other musicians and other engineers, I realized that a lot of people follow this exact same process to get the best sounding recordings, but not a lot of people are talking about it, and not a lot of people are clearly laying it out. So again, this is more about the process you take to get the best recordings. And if you watch my last video, I'll link to it up here where I talk about mixing tips. This is hand in hand with that because your mix and your music is only ever going to sound as good as your original recordings. So we're talking really here about everything you do before you're mixing and you're mastering. This is everything up until mixing and mastering. So this process is super important in getting professional sounding end results. You have to start right to end right. My band Broke Royals has been following this process for a long time now, and for a lot of songs. The amazing thing is, it has helped us no matter where we've been creating music. So we've done it in home studios, we've done it in professional studios, and then during quarantine, we had to do it from our bedrooms with minimal professional recording gear. And we still created professional sounding results that literally were played on the radio. We created music that we were proud of, played on the radio from our bedrooms, and a huge part of that was following this process to help us get the best results possible. Speaking of Broke Royals, we're doing this weekend. I'm heading up to the studio tomorrow morning, and I want to invite you with us. I want you to come see what we're doing, steal our secrets, steal our tricks, so you can apply it to your music. We're hosting an exclusive private live stream pretty much the entire time we're there with multiple cameras set up around the studio, and I want you to come join. I want you to come see what we're doing. But you have to sign up. There's a link in the description below. As I said, it's exclusive, it's private, so if you want to join, you have to sign up at the link in the description below, and that link is closing tonight. So if you want to sign up right now so that you can get access to this private live stream. It's going to be an awesome experience. Sign up at the link in the description below. Let's go ahead and dive into the ultimate recording process. A through line through this entire process is reference tracks. By reference tracks, I just mean professionally recorded and mixed music that you love that sounds kind of like the music that you want to make. Your music is never going to sound like that. You're not trying to copy it. It's not about that. Your music is going to be different, and that's beautiful. That's wonderful. But it helps when you're using reference tracks to just know that you're staying in your lane. You're staying on the right road. You're not getting way too far off. If you use it at every step along the way, when you're writing to help inspire your instrumentation and think about different things in your arrangement, and when you're recording to make sure that the tone on your guitars is sounding kind of like what you want it to, using a reference track just to make sure it's in the right vein. And then when you're mixing, to make sure your volumes are the right volume relative to each other, and your EQ choices and your dynamics are sounding similar to your reference track. And then when you're mastering, to make sure your overall tonal balance is similar so that every step along the way, you're staying close to that reference track. That's going to help you get more professional sounding results. So we won't be talking a lot about that throughout this video, but just keep that in the back of your mind. Reference tracks are important for helping you get professional sounding results. Okay, let's dive in. Step 1, pre-production. Pre-production is a crucial step that people don't often talk about. This is basically just creating a demo of the song that you're about to record. And it is really important that you do this. So when I say pre-production, when I say a demo, what I really mean is spend time recording your song, but don't worry a whole lot about the nitty-gritty. Don't worry about getting the perfect take or getting the perfect tone on your acoustic guitar or the perfect vocal recording. Just get something down that showcases the song. It's important that you do this to a metronome. I'll explain that in just a minute. You want it to be in time, but the exact performance doesn't have to be perfect, and the exact tones don't have to be perfect. And I'd encourage you to not spend a lot of time on it, because the idea is you don't want to get married to it. If you feel like you spent all this time, you're going to be hesitant to change anything. And the idea is that you're creating something that you're going to change, that you might change, that you're going to play with and see, maybe I like this arrangement better. So don't spend a lot of time in pre-production getting those recordings. Then go on and flesh out your song, build out your song as if you were doing the final song. If you're doing a lot of virtual instruments, some of those are going to stay. You don't necessarily need to re-record those later, but those are building out a foundation so you can really hear your song before you really finish your song. It will help you know, how do I want to record these final vocals a little bit better. So as I said, it's important to record it to a metronome, and that's because of the next step. Step 2, arrangement. So with arrangement, we're really thinking about our instrumentation and the literal arrangement within the song. So does it go verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus? However you want to arrange your music. And the nice thing is, if you've recorded to a metronome, you could change the arrangement around and try a few different things. You could save a copy of your session, and you could double the chorus at the end. Or if you feel like it's dragging, you could try cutting the bridge in half. You can try different things. If you do this when you're not married to the recordings that you've done, you'll be happy to just play around with things, try things out, see if things work. And try different musical instrumentation arrangements. So maybe have the bass drop out in the verse in one arrangement. Maybe have a different type of guitar for the chorus in one version of the arrangement. You could try all sorts of things. This is a time for exploration so that when you move into the final product, you know exactly what you're going for. You know exactly what you think is going to help the song sound best. A big pro tip for this step is to get feedback at this stage. Ask friends, ask family, ask online communities of music makers like the GarageBand user community on Facebook. Ask people to say, hey, will you listen to my demo? What do you think of the chorus? What do you think of the instrumentation in this part? Is it too long? Is it too short? Does anything drag? What's your favorite part? Maybe you could repeat someone's favorite part to get a little bit more of that into your song. This is exploration, right? So arrangement is instrumentation and the actual arrangement of the different sections of the song. Once you've nailed this, once you know that you have an arrangement that you're really, really happy with, it's time to get the final recordings. So step 3, recording final takes. Now, you may have things from the pre-production and the arrangement steps that you keep. As I said, especially if you're using virtual instruments or it's just like a tambourine track or something, you might keep those things. So that's fine. That's perfectly fine. You can keep anything that you're happy with. But now that you're in the final takes phase, you want to put some effort into this. You want to get the best vocal recording possible. You want to take time and make sure your mic placement is right. You can't hear a lot of reverb from your room, a lot of reflections from your room. You want to take time to make sure you're getting the right guitar recordings that sound good to you. Use your reference tracks. And another key here is to be informed by the demos. You now have your reference tracks, but you also have your demos. You can listen back to your demos of your recordings and use them as a reference for your final take. So you can listen to the chorus in your demo and say, do I like my vocal performance here? Do I want to bring out a little bit more energy? Or do I want this verse to be a little bit more somber? You can now use that demo to help inform those recording decisions. Same thing with the tone on your electric guitar. You know that you're going to be tweaking mic placement, and you can listen back to a demo and say, well, what do I like about this demo? And what do I want to change? And then you can use that to inform how you make your mic placement. If you know how you did it roughly in the demo, then you can use that as a starting point and tweak it to be a more perfect recording that sounds more like how you want it to. And really schedule this in. If you want to treat your recordings more professionally, well, recording studios have a date that you're going into them, and you're going to get the takes on that date. And sometimes that feels counterintuitive to music, but that little bit of pressure helps us. It gives us something to work hard on that one date. So what I recommend is set a date on your calendar and say, okay, on this date, I will have done all my pre-production and my arrangement, and I'm going to get the final takes on this song and push through on that day and do whatever you need to do to get the best takes possible. Borrow a guitar from a friend, borrow a microphone from a friend. If you're a singer, take extra care of your voice. Maybe don't talk the night before. Drink tea. The singer in my band, Broke Royals, he uses a nebulizer to help open up his throat on days that he's recording. And that helps just a little bit, but those little things add up to get a better sound overall. So schedule in your recording days, and then on this step, on step 3, you're just going for the best takes possible. So this is what we're going to be doing this weekend. We've done steps 1 and 2 many times over now. We've sent it off to friends. We've played with arrangements. We have a producer coming in to help with those things. and make sure that we're really, really happy before we actually go into the studio to do the final recordings. That being said, we have all sorts of things that we've done in advance, all sorts of synths that we've created, percussion things that I've already added that will be just added into what we record this weekend. So some of that stuff will stay, some of the stuff is going to be brand new. And then after you've recorded all your final takes and everything's sounding good to you, you have good performances that you're really happy with, move on to step 4. And step 4 is producing. This is like a bonus step. This is a fun step. This is just pushing the song over the top, adding those little things that make it great, that take it from good to great. And it's just fun little things. So for me, I love percussion. I love all sorts of percussion. So I always am adding tambourines in this stage and cabasas and shakers and guiros and different things to just add interest throughout the mix at different points, right? Different little elements that just catch the listener's ear. Another great way to do this is swells and bass bombs, like build up tension and then let it resolve. Sometimes you'll do some of these things in pre-production, but now that you have everything that you know is the final version of the song, spend a little extra time just fleshing it out, playing with things, making sure it sounds exactly the way that you want. Another thing that you could consider and should consider is maybe there's some things that I've now recorded that I don't want in certain sections. There is a lot to the idea that less is more in music. So try taking some things out of certain sections. If you just slice them and mute them, you could still unmute them and bring them back in if you want. That doesn't hurt anything. That's the amazing thing about modern recording is it's still there. This is non-destructive editing software. So if you mute it, you could always bring it back in. But try some stuff like that. Now that you have the final version, you can make those final decisions. And then after that, it's on to the 6-step mix process. I'll link to that up here so you can check that out. But you've done the recording process and you've really put the time in to get the best recordings, best performances, best arrangement, best takes, all those things possible. This is gonna level up your music so much, I guarantee it. Now, be sure to sign up at the link in the description below to come watch me and my band Broke Royals do step 3 in real time in a professional studio. I think it will really help you to just see what we're doing to get these final takes, to get the best performances possible. If you're serious about getting the best recordings possible, I'm sure you're serious about getting the best mix possible. And if you don't already have my 6-step checklist to a pro mix in GarageBand, be sure to download that. I'll link to that in the description as well. It will really help you get a more professional sounding mix. And it just follows along what all the steps of a professional mix are. So you can do it in GarageBand completely free. Grab that from the link in the description below as well. If this video was helpful, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next week with another video.
One thing at a time.